So today I want to talk to you about Turkish guns, mid-range price Turkish guns. I have Galatian, a Hatsan Galatian. This is their flagship model. And I have the Kral Puncher Jumbo, which I consider Kral's flagship because I love that gun. Both of these guns are mid-range, mid-priced, also mid-range quality. These are not high-end. These are not at the low end. These are right in the middle, priced at around the $700–800 price range. They're both from Turkey. They're both very good quality, not great, not terrible. As far as the build quality, they're okay. They're pretty good, actually. Kral has some issues that I think they're, because they're fairly, at least new in the States, to airgun, at least PCP airguns, they've had some issues with the shroud quality, a lot of quality control issues. Their stem breaks, the cocking lever was kind of made a little substandard. But aside from that, the gun is a great shooter, great feeling, great quality. Same thing with the Galatian. Hatsan makes great guns, but they are very, very heavy. Kral makes, in my opinion, makes slightly better guns than Hatsan. If they can fix their quality control issue, and maybe they go up in price a little bit, that's okay, because they are cheaper than, this is an $800 gun. The Kral is a $600 gun. So, add $200 and bring the quality up. Well, anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. But the point here today is to talk to you about these two mid-range Turkish guns. I shot them today at it was very, very windy. And I'm going to start off by showing you first three groups. The first group is a sighting in group with the Kral. This is in 25 caliber. I'm using 34 grain pellets. It was very, very windy, 16 mile an hour gust, 12 mile an hour sustained. And I think the gun performed pretty well. So we're going to start off with that, three groups, and then we'll talk a little bit more about swaged bullets and pellets. I'll do two more groups with the Kral Puncher Jumbo in 25, and then at the end of the video I will show you some amazing groups with the 22 caliber Hatsan Galatian. Performed beautifully, and why it did, I regulated this gun, I tuned the power down. Originally this gun was shooting 44 foot-pounds of energy. I had the regulator up to 150 bar. I opened up all the transfer ports, everything. This gun is fully tuned by me. And what I found was it had too much power, and because it's an 18-inch barrel, I believe, and maybe the twist rate, it was having accuracy issues out at 100 yards. So now I tune the power down. I'm using an 18 grain pellet. Wow, and you'll see the results at the end of this video. But let's start off with the Kral. Take a look. That was a sighting in. We're going to go in the center now. Alright, hold that. Got to come down a little bit. Yep. Going to compensate for wind. That's it. Nice. Nice. Today is April 20th, and this is New York weather. It's freezing. It's 41 degrees. Gloves, hat, 2 layers. The wind is gusting at about 16 miles an hour. So I didn't go out to I'm reluctant to go out to 100, so here we are at 75. This was my first Here's my second, which is probably, it's about 2.5 inches. It's pretty big. This was my first one. I tried to dope for the wind. Something happened. Let's just ignore that. But look at this right here. That is about 1.5 inches, an inch. Okay. Listen, it's not the best for 75 yards with a 25 caliber shooting heavy. You know, this gun is capable of much more. But today is a terribly windy day. We're going to come down here. We're going to try it again. Now I'm a little warmed up. We'll see if that makes a difference. In this next part of the video, you're going to see me shoot the Kral, again, at 75 yards. First with the 34 grain JSB 25 caliber pellets. And you'll see the effect the wind has laterally. And then I switch over, I'll do the next group. I think, again, everything is 10 shot, or here it's 14 shot groups in the Galatian, but in the Kral, they're 10 shot groups. With the Nielsen Swaged Slugs, 34 grain. These are bullet style, and you'll notice that I was shooting, you'll notice that there's a vertical drop, but laterally the wind didn't affect the swaged pellets. And that is my goal eventually, to be shooting no more pellets, but swaged bullets, because again, these are far more accurate. They retain a lot of the power. You say, well, if you're only shooting paper, what do you need so much power? Well, as you see in this video, I'm shooting in high winds, and I like to shoot 100 yards and beyond. And really, that's kind of hard to do with Diablo pellets, because the further you go out, you know, you've got that shot, you know, that curve. There's going to be a lot of drop when you get out to 150, 200 yards, but that's not really the case with the bullets. So anyway, check this part out. Two-shot group with the Kral 25. First the Diablo pellets, 34 grain, and then the next one is the Nielsen Swaged 34 grain slugs. Check that out. Perfect. The wind. So I compensated for the wind using the turrets. The wind just died down, and you saw that pellet go left. I doped to the right. Curved completely, and then no wind. So it's amazing the amount, the effect that wind has on pellets going subsonic. You know what? I'm going to try the Nielsen slugs. I have what looks like about 10 Nielsen slugs. I'm going to try to see if we cannot fight this wind. You know what? I'm going to hand feed these slugs. So the wind is totally throwing my pellets left and right, and I'm really trying to dope for it. And as you can see, that lateral, the way the pellets, the height is perfect, but the wind is just blowing left and right, and I'm trying to dope for it. So what I'm going to do now is try and use some swaged slugs here from Nielsen. I'm going to hand feed them one at a time. Let's see what we got. Now these are a little heavier, so I'm going to push them up a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm not compensating for the wind in any way. Wow. They went right on top of each other. I did not dope. All right, here, these are the Nielsen slugs. Now, if you notice, what's interesting about this went lateral left and right. This went up and down. I believe that the pressure on my gun might have been fluctuating, because if you notice, it's really vertical. So this was horizontal, this was vertical. So the Nielsen slugs weren't affected by the wind, but they were more affected by velocity. I believe my velocities were changing. Unfortunately, I don't have any more Nielsens. I'm gonna have to get more of those 25s, but I think they have a lot of promise. If you can get a rate, my gun is not regulated. It can fluctuate a bit, so I'm gonna attribute this to the fluctuation in the velocities. But this really says something good about these Nielsen slugs and about swaged slugs. Again, pellets, Diablo pellets, swaged Nielsen slugs. So very, very interesting. I believe that this would have been under an inch if the velocities if the velocity didn't keep changing on my gun, because again, the wind is blowing left to right, but you can see there's very little variance in left to right, but a lot up to down. Anyway, interesting. In this next part, I have some fun shooting some shotgun shells. I actually surprised myself because I zeroed the gun and pretty much, I missed one. I didn't put it on film, but it shot every one of the shells. Check that out. All right, light blue one in the middle. Oh, green one to the right of the light blue one that just got shot off. Wow, this gun's sick. Green one next to it. Red one on the left. Oh, I missed. Okay, let's try that red one again. Oh, nicked it. Got it. Okay, red one on the right. Nice. Wow. Red one right next to the camera. This gun is right on. Okay, bluish red one. Wow. Nailed it. So in this last part, I shoot the Galatian, which, again, I regulated the power down a bit. The Yuma regulator is set to 130 bar. I opened the transfer port a bit, the barrel port, the valve port, everything is opened up. But what I did was I'm getting about 50 shots shooting an 18 grain JSB at about 9,900 feet per second, which is the sweet spot for this gun. As you'll see in this last video, I shoot 3 groups. The first one, I haven't picked this gun up in months. So that was the first group. It held 0, everything was fine. That first group in the middle is just a kind of a sighting in, getting a feel for it. And then you'll notice the next 2 groups, one on the right and then one on the left, I think is amazing, with an 18 grain on a very windy day. This gun just performed unbelievably. And you know, it's so funny, you put these guns away and you say, I'm fed up with it, you know, I'm tired of working on it, it's frustrating. Well, you gotta find the pellet and the velocity that works for each gun. Again, air guns are not supersonic, shooting supersonic slugs, and they kind of a little bit more forgiving. These are, again, subsonic, high wind, you know, pellet shape, is it damaged, is the twist rate right? There's just so many issues, and you gotta find, you know, just the pellet that works right in your gun. and the Galatian loves the 18 grains. It also likes the 21s. I've been shooting those a little better, but I have to, unfortunately, there's no power adjuster on the regulator from externally. Got to take the, take the air out, take the regulator out, adjust it, fill it back. It's kind of a pain in the neck. So anyway, check out these 3 groups with the Galatian. I think it performed beautifully. I hope you think so too. Not a bad start. Ooh, trying to shoot with both eyes open. Wow, bullseye. Wow. On a windy day. Okay. Okay. So that shot, that group of 14 that you just saw was a killer. I was not concentrating heavily. This is a windy day. It's 14-mile-an-hour winds today. It's cold. Yeah, you can see the trees gusting. These are 18 grain pellets at 75 yards. Let's go take a look at that group. All right, so this group right here is a 14-shot group. It is 2 thumbs. I'm gonna call that about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4. I'll measure it, I'll get the actual measurement. But this is the Hatsan Galatian regulated using 18 grain pellets on a windy day. It's a nice day, but it's cold. It's April 20th. It's windy, 14, 15 mile an hour gusts. There's a constant breeze, and this thing's been shaking all that time. This is a pretty damn good shot. I'm gonna try another group right here. I'm gonna try and stabilize this too. Let's see if we can't stabilize that. 75 yards again. Wow. Talk to you about these 2 groups here I just did. This is the first group I shot, which I just spoke to you about, is bigger than 1/4 for sure. I mean, this is about 1.5, about 1.5. Again, gives you a concept of, how big this is. Now, I just shot another group, and the wind picked up pretty heavily. And again, I'm sure you're seeing it as this thing is blowing around. But again, there's a 14-shot group. 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds. I wasn't taking my time. I wasn't doing anything particularly. I wasn't concentrating very heavily. But this is a pretty crazy group. 75 yards on a windy day.